Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the Internal Combustion Engine Age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, the dogs, the motorcycles, the camper, the supercharger. Wow, what an incredible, beautiful morning. This is truly just an incredible, great morning. The temperature is just about right. Right now, it's like perfect. If you are playing tennis, golf, boating, motorcycling, whatever it may be, you would be like, man, this is just about the right temperature. And isn't that something how we so revolve our life around the weather and the temperature? And so here we went over to the barn and just had another day of the morning conversations. And as always, thank you so much for being a subscriber and watching my morning conversations and talk where I think about ideas and views and thoughts, and just like to share those with others to see what they think as well. And I think a lot of us are on the same page as we travel this adventure in life and our lifelong journey of what are you going to do, right? Where are you going to go? What are you going to be? Or are you already there and you're just now sitting back and enjoying what you've done? Or you're still challenged and trying to figure out what you're going to do? And that's challenging. So as we walk over to the barn, the collection of cars, we're missing the Mustang Dark Horse. That's at the Koons Silver Spring Ford. They're not part of that Koons Automotive Group, so that's pretty cool. The Koons Automotive Group split off to that new company, and they didn't. That's a standalone Koons organization that is owned by one of the Koons son-in-laws. So a gentleman by the name of Alex married into the family, and that's his own dealership. And he's going to continue to use the Koons name, but it has nothing to do with the that new automotive group that bought out the conglomerate of all the Koons organizations. So a little more personal, maybe. I'll find out. The place was slam-packed. But what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? Because I got a very busy day. Not so sure I'll have a very long video this morning because I've got projects to do, and my new employee, Brian, is coming over to help us do a concrete job today, which that helps out a lot for me and my years and years of doing grunt work and manual labor. And boy, does that just really start to wear on you as you get older? It does. And so come on, pups, you're not going up there, Keith, because you're a troublemaker. So so I thought to myself, this week we've already had a conversation on Monday of heat, and then we had conversation Tuesday of mirrors. Yesterday's conversation was the superchargers. And I thought today, here is a word that I think is the most powerful word in the world. If you ever had to stop and say to yourself, what do you think is the most powerful thing? I mean, sincerely, telling you my conversation this morning, what is the most powerful thing in the world we live in? And somebody may say, God. I mean, okay, I would take that. Others may say, mankind. Well, yeah. Animals. I mean, you can go through a list of things that you can say to yourself, what is the most powerful thing? You can say the sun. You can say, okay, gravity. Well, I think the most appropriate thing that always correlates to the cars and trucks and the world we live in today, the ice age, internal combustion engine age, is temperature. I thought to myself this morning, and I actually did some research, but not a lot, but I thought that temperature would be a great conversation. The reason that kind of came to my mind is because I worked in the oil industry, and if you're an oil guy, you understand fractioning. When oil is fractioned, when you take oil, you create different blends of fuels. Meaning, when you have a barrel of oil, they have to have it go through your processing plant, your terminals, or not your terminals, but it's very elaborate. But what goes on is you break the oil down into either like number 6 heavy grade oil, number 2 heating oil, diesel oil, gasoline, aviation fuel, kerosene, byproducts for plastics. So a barrel of oil has like infinite variables of what you can do with that to create an end result. But what's going on is there's a challenge in the summer months in more of like the America and New England and Germany. These countries have always designed facilities to process oil and make it into another refined product. And they have more catered to the temperature of being more cold than hot. And now our countries are seeing so-called hotter weather, warmer weather, and it puts a strain on the refining process of these refineries that makes it so it slows down the production, because the technology was never built in as this refineries to accommodate really hot weather. But like Saudi Arabia, that's a very hot country. Their whole refinery system has always been developed around hotter temperatures, so their refining process in the summer months doesn't get affected like it does here in America and Europe, Germany. And so it slows down the capability of maybe up to 15% of refining capabilities, where they have to shut down terminals to keep them safe from creating accidents. And so that can, in some ways, cause a little disruption in supply, in the world's supply, because right now we're in the hotter months of the year. So I thought wow, the temperature thing is so what everything's about. If you really stop and think about you as an individual, you right now should have a 98.6 temperature of your body. And anybody that's been sick knows when you get a fever, you start to feel not so well. And a typical person will have about a 99 to 100 degree fever typically. But sadly, if you have a friend, family, or even yourself, you get 103 fever, you're getting in a very dangerous territory of cooking your body. You get to 105, 106, 107, you truly are then in potentially shutting down your body and dying. Your liver will cook. I mean, there's so many things internally, and that's what happens in heat exhaustion. You hear of these sports athletes that start training in the summer months, especially like in high school, college, and sadly you hear of young people dying on the field from heat exhaustion, where their body can't cool down and their temperature has risen so high, their body internally is literally cooking and kills them. And so for you and I, once again, for the average human, 98.6 is the kind of standard for us human beings. But what is the standard for Mother Nature Earth? What would you say, as far as the temperature goes, for the global world, what is the average temperature? Well, they've been keeping the record of temperature now since 1880 so mankind never started actually keeping detailed record of temperature until 1880. So they used the 1880 till present day of what the average temperature of the world is. And between the oceans and the mountains and the whole variables of Mother Nature Earth, they claim it's 59 degrees. But also they claim from the record keeping from 1880 to present day, Mother Nature Earth has increased temperature by over a degree Fahrenheit. So that's raising eyebrows, and that's what this whole green agenda, I mean, that's what I'm saying to you this morning is, wow, think about temperature of the world, of what it's doing to mankind, and what mankind, so-called, is doing to Mother Nature Earth. And more than ever, just in the last 4 years, this sitting administration has pushed the temperature challenge to the most ever for anybody that's my age and the younger generation. We've never seen this radical of a movement of trying to control the temperature of the world by changing the way we live, by changing the way what vehicles we drive, by changing our habits of how we eat, our habits of how you stay cool in your house, how you heat your house, how you cool your house. Very good article I read as well which kind of brought this also to the forefront, was Tony Robbins. I can still remember Tony Robbins. When I was very young, I always thought to myself, could I ever have been a motivational speaker? I'm sincere with you on that conversation. When I was very young, I can remember seeing Tony, who's Anthony Robbins. Tony Robbins, if you know who he is, he's the big, well-known motivational speaker who was the so-called janitor out of high school, and really came to nothing of much. But then he had a talent of speaking and motivating people, and he's made millions and millions of dollars. And he's probably around my age, I would think. I'm 61. I don't know his age, but I'm sure we're within each other's era and time and growing up. And I always thought when I was younger, would I ever have the capability to be that type of individual? Because I saw an opportunity where you could do public speaking and hopefully motivate people and hopefully help others go, in a successful way of living a life. Yeah, right. Everybody here watch my channel, like, yeah, you're the guy that buys how many cars? You're the guy that spends your money frivolously? Yeah, right, Mr. Iceman. Yeah, you're going to be the perfect Ramsey. What's the financial guru that advises people how to spend your money and how not to spend your money? And here comes Brian right now, the new employee of my company that wants to be here on time. And there's Kiefer. So anyways, so for Anthony Robbins, he has invested $200 million into a gentleman that is so-called a scientist, but somebody think he's a magician. He's a snake and oil guy. But the so-called, and this is true, this is a real story, and you do have to step back. This gentleman claims that he can create coal-burning power plants to be hydrogen carbon footprint free. Did you just hear me? He claims he has the technology. He has the technology to take and make. My camera seems like it's a little dirty, isn't it? I'm going to kind of wipe it off here. Sorry about that, everybody. He claims that he has the technology to convert coal into hydrogen so that it has a net zero impact in the carbon footprint. And he's been trying to do this for years and years. And Tony Robbins, he has invested $200 million into this guy's so-called grand design of saving Mother Nature Earth and saving the coal plants and saving the coal industry through converting coal burning process at a plant into hydrogen. Well, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's a story of, well, tomorrow we'll have that figured out. Yeah, next week we'll have that figured out. There's a lot of other people that have invested in them, and keep in mind that he qualifies for the Inflation Reduction Act, Green Agenda, that would give him possible monies for not Tony Robbins, but the guys like names like Hodgkins or something. You can look it up. It's in West Virginia, which is a huge coal mining state, as you know. And so anyways, the whole point of that is that it's starting to look like it's smoke and mirrors. But what's the whole theme? It goes back to bringing energy that's carbon footprint free and to help Mother Nature Earth not to continue to have the temperature rise, because that's the main focal point more than ever in all of our lifetime, is that everybody's, I shouldn't say everybody, I should say the Green Agenda's activists more than ever are adamant about how these ICE vehicles, these coal plants, your air conditioner in your house, the food that you buy that requires so much agricultural is ruining Mother Nature Earth, and it's creating the temperature to change. And so once again, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, if you step back and think about what's the most powerful thing of Mother Nature Earth is the temperature. And for us, we are witnessing what so many feel that mankind has to address very quickly and very expensive to start changing the temperature to control it. So more than ever, the Green Agenda's activists, their position is if mankind can change its lifestyle, can change its way of what it uses for transportation, can change on how you stay cold or warm, how you can change on how much food you eat, that you're gonna help the temperature stop rising. And so then that's where it becomes, I think, just a split down the middle, or even more, 2/3 of the people out there just don't buy that conversation, that mankind is creating the temperature variations and the change, because you're talking 1880 to 2024, so that's over 100 and what's that, 140 years, 136 years of mankind of now keeping track. Is that right on that number that I just told you? Of keeping track of what's going on. I don't think that number's right. So it'd be 124 years. So 144, yeah, it'd be 144 years of mankind now keeping critical data of what's going on Mother Nature Earth, and how it's risen by 1.06 or 1.07 degree. What I did is I got my phone, as always. I like to kind of take things and try to share with you what I read. So right here, if we read right here, the average temperature of the Earth's surface is around 59 degrees, which includes both marine and terrestrial environments. However, the planet's average temperature is rising. In between 1880 and 2016, oh, I was actually a little off on that, it increased by 1.71 degrees. This is almost 1 Celsius higher than the temperature during the 19th century. Considered the pre-industrial period in recent years, the average rise has been accelerating. For example, 2022 was the 6th warmest year since global records began in 1880. Blah, 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 blah. So that's the constant rhetoric. This is what you're going to hear from a green activist. They're going to have this they're going to have this memorized if you start talking to them about what's going on. Let's go over here. Let's get another article here for us. So yeah, this is what I was saying earlier was for you as an adult, you should be about a 98.6 temperature. But if you get over that, this shows you fevers are causing brain damage. So people know these stories, especially if a little baby who hasn't had a little baby where it gets a fever. And that's very common in young babies is they get a fever, and you've really got to monitor that and watch that because you're concerned for the well-being of your little baby that the temperature doesn't rise, and it's the ongoing temperature of that child that if it stays up for a long time, then you've got a problem. So once again, it's what is the whole green agenda? What is the Elon Musk? What's the electric vehicles? The real foundation of everything that's going along with this whole electric vehicle movement is the premise that Mother Nature Earth is getting warmer because of us ice age people. Once again, for the radical green agenda person, they would truly hate my channel. They would love to just get my sticker and burn it because their position is going to be you're just a disgrace to mankind because you're supporting the rise of temperatures. And then, as you know, it's the same rhetoric. We have hurricanes coming through, tropical storms, and then it's instantly about how mankind is destroying this world. And the reason these hurricanes are so violent is because mankind has altered Mother Nature Earth, where the temperatures have risen, the ocean waters have risen, blah, 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 blah. I mean, who doesn't know these stories? And so for you and I, we're sitting on the sidelines as we watch administration officials, governing bodies that are creating rules and guidelines to rewrite the way that mankind can live so that it adjusts the temperatures. And like I just said a minute ago, and I'm sure so many people, especially older, you just think to yourself, really? I mean, you really think as we're just little, peons in this physical world we live in, and you really think that mankind's going to outdo Mother Nature. I mean, I think that's where we just get to, and don't get me wrong, I think that new technology and the better for mankind of bringing things that are more clean, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I support, by all means, mankind transitioning to be able to help live a better life, and I'm not against that. What I'm against is the radical side of it, where the governing bodies are putting timelines that by 2035, the car manufacturers can't build ICE cars anymore because if they do, the world's going to come to an end. That's where, for me, the separation starts to come in. And then the separation comes in with, if you eat too much meat or if the farmers are using so much fertilizer, blah, blah, I get all that. And there's a fine line there. I don't disagree that how mankind creates things, it's the cause and effect, but at the same time, it's in moderation. That's what you learn through life, is it's through moderation. That's why last night I ordered a large pizza from Domino's Pizza. My daughter was coming home, and I ordered a large pizza. And the freaking thing was $20 for a large extravaganza pizza. And I got the coupon as well. When the kid got home, I did a little shorty video, and if you saw the size of that pizza, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And that's what's going on more than ever. If you really pay attention to going to the fast food joint, McDonald's, Panera, Chipotle, you can go through the list of restaurants that have truly downsized their servings. And now here's the thing. For me as an individual, I don't per se disagree with the fact that mankind should pull back on eating all day long. I don't disagree with that because we have a huge obesity problem in our country, and it's in the world as well. But this country has a huge obesity problem. But the point is, why lie to the people? Why don't you just why don't you just give the person an option that, hey, if you want the good old big, the huge McDonald's quarter pounder that used to be close to like a third bigger than it is today, let them have the big quarter pounder or something like that. But instead, it's just kind of like pull the wool over your eyes and, oh, here's your sandwich. And, oh, don't pay attention to how it's a third smaller and it's actually more expensive. And that's where the temperature rises for you and I when we witness this never-ending pull the wool over your eyes for the general media and for the general population of presenting things that, nothing's really changed. Everything's beautiful. Everything's fine. Inflation core index, it hasn't risen much. I mean, it's incredible to look in the last 4 years. If you go from 2020 to 2024, to look how expensive everything's gotten. Everything. And now, the excuse now is from the city administration and the media machine that truly supports all this is, come on, man. What's the big deal? You're confused, Mr. Iceman, that a car that used to be an average of $36,000 is now $40,000. You're confused. That's not the way it is. Well, yes, it is. Everything that you buy now is a third. In my book, everything you buy now is at least a third more expensive, and in so many ways, and a third less of volume. Which I think more and more people, as time progresses, are really starting to see that whatever you're buying anymore, it's a third more, but it's actually a third less of product. Well, that's huge. I mean, think about that. What in mathematical equation does that mean? It means you're doubled. You're paying double for things in some ways. But I get it. It goes back to the temperature of the world, where this green agenda activists are pounding their fists that mankind needs to start making less food, less products. You need to eat less. What's all the deal with all the air conditioning and heating and blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing. I got my kid, Brian, we're going to do a concrete job, and I'm not going to make these guys sit around too much. But hey, what I'm thinking is get your F450 dually out, and we're going to have to get stuff out of the shed and get things in order, get all the concrete stuff. So first thing I'll probably do is have, I don't know if Brian's car, I think what you got to do is Brian, you got to pull your car in next to right there? Yeah, next to the Bronco, because we're going to have to probably pull the truck out, and then Julia's going to have to back her truck up over there. And so, yeah, so we're going to get creative here in the day to do work. So anyways, and so, yeah, I was just saying a few minutes ago, is how your temperature rises when you watch all the malarkey that goes on. And the people, and what's incredible more than ever, is that people fight tooth and nail to tell you are so wrong. You are so wrong when you know you're so right. And it's just so bad on how I don't know how people, oh my gosh, you got an X. It is so bad. X is the worst. The propaganda machine on X is massive. I mean, I'm not lying to you. It's massive. Where people, support all this silliness and foolishness that's going on. So here's the thing. I'm really going to get distracted from my morning conversation. There's just too much going on in my business. And we got to get going. I got to do things. So we're going to kind of keep it a little short this morning. But once again, it's all about the temperature. Is your temperature rising as you watch my channel? Ha! Right. And for those out there who want a sticker, it's Ice Age TV comments, COMMENTS @gmail.com. One gentleman yesterday was trying to get a hold of me. Says he wants a sticker, but it's Ice Age TV comments, COMMENTS @gmail.com. And if you email me your name and address and say hi to me and share a picture of your car or whatever, I'll send you one sticker, two sticker. I got plenty of stickers and whatever you want. And I'm still behind the scenes trying to figure out what can I design or create that would be a really cool Ice Age TV, Ice Age Inc. Because I have my corporation's name is Ice Age Inc. And I just think to myself, what can I create that would be a really cool thing that you could have? And keep in mind, it would be a for sale item, not a thing that I'm just going to be able to create and spend a ton of money and then give all away for free. What I could do, I'm just trying, I know hats, shirts, and I'm trying to think of something else, something more creative, and something to help me grow my business my YouTube channel, because it's a business if you look at it, for all the time and effort I put into it, and something I can be rewarded for my efforts to make me feel like I'm growing this channel, and to make me feel like I'm doing something that others so much love, and I'm being rewarded for that. And that's where I am. I just really feel like if I started making more money in this channel, I think it would just even get better. I think my time and commitment even grow even more, because I'm now earning monies for my efforts, and I know people like it, and I'll do whatever I have to do in so many ways to bring content that hopefully entertains you and excites you. And yeah, I mean, that's what I like to do. I really like to just share, and that's what I like to do. And so when you watch my channel, I think you get that, because I share a lot of antics. Yesterday, I was so mad yesterday, going to that dealership and trying to get that car into that dealership. Oh my gosh, it just doesn't end, everybody. But that's it. I really do have to go. I got a very busy day, and we have more video time of something going on. I'm sure we will. If you watch my channel, there's always something going on. And the race truck is so much fun. But that thing's squirrely. But that truck is so much fun. It really is. But it's so bouncy and so, oh my gosh. So, all right, everybody, that's it. I got to go. And the video will make you happier anyways, because my videos do get a lot long sometimes, but it's a distraction. It's now that my daughter's here and Brian's here, it's a distraction. It's taken away. And that's why I try to get out here before they get here. But he's actually an early bird. So Brian, he's actually here a little earlier than he needs to be, but that's a good thing. He wants to work, and that's a great thing. So as always, everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate the support, comments. Help grow the channel. It really would be great if you reach out to your friends and family and share the channel, and hopefully they can learn some things. Because I just try to share information that maybe people don't think about. And I think the temperature thing is right there on how temperature is the #1 thing that controls mankind more than ever, because you want to be warm, you want to be, you want to be cold. How do you get up in the morning? What's the biggest thing on TV all day long? The Weather Channel. People always are tuning into what's the weather going to be, what's the temperature going to be, how are you going to dress, the clothes industry. Look at that. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours, everything related to the temperature of mankind. And, the cars, you think about the cars and how cars didn't have air conditioning. Now they do have air conditioning. I could talk to you about how in the electric truck, the truck freezes in the winter months. The truck is cold because it doesn't have an engine in it, and it truly is. When I ride around these electric trucks, it's cold. It's a challenge for electric vehicles to stay warm. I know you can have the heated seat on, but you just don't have that same engine heat coming off, radiating through that firewall back into your car. And so I could really get into a lot more, but I'm going to run out of time, and it's just me trying to think about. And well, here's another thing. On your motorcycle, do you want to ride your motorcycle on a 20-degree day, or do you ride your motorcycle on a 70, 80-degree day? And I've got all the heated gear for all the years of riding. I know I can't shut up, can I? But as I'm thinking before I sign off, I'm just thinking everything around us is all temperature related. Your tires are temperature related. In the colder months, your tires deflate. In the warmer months, they expand. It's all the ambient, ambient air temperature to the porous material of that tire that leaks in so many ways, and it expands and contracts. Once again, we're going to pour concrete today. It's critical what temperature it is for that concrete to set up correctly. I used to deliver kerosene to big job sites in DC and around the Beltway back in the 80s, where they had big turbo kerosene heaters doing big concrete jobs. And in the winter months, they had to have these buildings all sealed off with these big ass turbo heaters in there with kerosene running to keep the concrete to cure correctly for the proper temperature. Yeah, so I know I can go on and on and on. I think you kind of get the gist of the conversation, and it all goes back to the green agenda activists are wanting to control your temperature. That's the reality. They're wanting, but it's not going to be cheap, and we've said this a gazillion times. And why why people are arguing about why everything's so expensive, it's like it's the green agenda movement, period. That's all it is. If people want to hear it, they want to argue. All right, we got the big F450 truck coming over. I got to move the electric truck out of the way. So, hey, Joya, so I got to we got to unload that white truck. So just stay there for a second, and I'll be right over. All right, I got to go. So everybody, hey, thanks so much for watching my channel. God bless. Have a great day.